Welcome back to News Across Nigeria, where we tell you what's happening now across the Nigerian Federation. The plan by the national body of the Academic Staff Union of Universities to conduct elections and inaugurate a new chapter of the union for the University of UNILORIN has been disrupted by members of the union who were prevented from gaining access to the campus by security operatives. While the new chairman later emerged, the existing executive recognized by the school authority is accusing the national body of insincerity. The vice chairman of the university, Professor Abdul Ganiu Ambali, says the crisis will be resolved in due time.
The University of Ilorin Gate, manned by security officers to check vehicles coming in and ensure that only students are allowed to come into the premises. The reason for this procedure is to stop other branches of Academic Staff Union of universities from gaining access into the institution as lecturers and labor leaders across the Western Zone converged in Ilorin to conduct elections for a new executive of the university. But the union is surprised at this action.
People that come all over Nigeria just to come and witness an election that is coming up here today. We are not here to cause any trouble. But the problem we are seeing now is that as soon as we go to the gate here, the security people, led by the one from the university, as well as the police officers, you are seeing them, start their up and they call their gun. You can still see them. They call their gun at us.
Although the university has its branch of ASUU on ground, the national body has refused to recognize the executives. The newly elected factional chairman of ASUU, UNILORIN, bears his mind and claims his emergence will bring new tidings for the union.
The election went well. To God be the glory. It's an election that is long overdue. The neck of the union has been trying to see that we move away from the past escapades that we have, and that has happened today, and it's very significant.
Reacting to the issue, the other factional chairman insists he remains the authentic leader of the union, having emerged from an election.
There are vehicles from several campuses around the southwest to impose on us, in a commando style, an executive of an 11-man Congress over and above the congregation of 1,538 lecturers of this university.
A concerned vice-chancellor at a press briefing in his office promises to wade into the crisis and ensure it is resolved amicably.
Majority of those that were part of the group that may look large are not University of Ilorin staff. They are staff from other universities, and that doesn't happen. I've been in the university business for over 30-something years, and I've been participating quietly, watching the way things are done as far as ASUU is concerned.
As the crisis rages on, students of the institution want the school management to ensure that the stable academic calendar is not disrupted.
To the south-south, the management of the University of Benin Teaching Hospital is assuring Edo State residents not to panic over the new case of Lassa fever at the hospital that claimed one life. Senior management staff of the hospital, in a chat with Channels Television, said they'd isolated 6 persons and so far tested 7 people who'd had contact with the dead patients for the Lassa virus.
Last Thursday, a patient died in this hospital, and post-mortem examination is said to have confirmed that it was a case of Lassa fever. Following this development, 3 doctors, 2 nurses and 1 hospital cleaner have been placed under surveillance.
When we knew about that, all the persons, all the health caregivers that were exposed, possibly exposed, we identified all of them, counseled them, and I wouldn't say quarantine really. It wasn't really, we didn't really quarantine them because it's not really that necessary for all of them. Then we monitor them and monitoring their vital signs, especially the temperature.
This is the third case of the hemorrhagic fever at the University of Benin Teaching Hospital since the last outbreak of the disease in the country, with the hospital recording 2 deaths. The head of Infectious Disease Control Unit explains that the deaths occurred as information about the patient's cases was insufficient to point to the Lassa virus early. He added that the hospital's track record shows effective management of the disease.
Initially, the suspicion was not there because the family members did not give the true picture. They did not give us the true information. And it was later we found out that the man actually had gone for 2 or 3 burials of people suspected to have died of Lassa fever. They kept that information away from the doctors. So, you know, it was when they were treating him and he wasn't getting better, the suspicion came up and they took his sample to Ira. Unfortunately, before the result came, he had died. I can say with confidence that none of the people who had contact with this last patient that we lost will be positive because of the procedure that we put on ground to take care of this problem.
He also dismissed rumors of a Lassa fever epidemic in Benin City, the Edo State capital.
There is no outbreak, there is no other confirmed case. None of the patients or people who have had contact that have tested have been positive. And we'll continue to monitor because we have a 21-day window period to monitor this individual. So no fear for outbreak for now.
Those isolated will be observed for the next 14 days, after which they may be given a clean bill of health.
And that brings us to a conclusion for this edition of News Across Nigeria. Thank you for watching. I'm Olumide Mukoli. See you again.